Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Rated Rachel, where I, Rachel, share my unsolicited thoughts and opinions about movies and TV shows that I love. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about Netflix It's Okay to Not Be Okay. But firstly, I want to say a very big thank you to all my new subscribers. Thank you for joining, and thank you to all my old subscribers for staying with me on my journey. So let's get right into it. So far so good. The drama is blowing our minds in terms of dialogue, scenery, and emotion. 1 minute I find myself laughing and I'm giggling with excitement. The next minute I'm clenching my heart in fear and I'm cringing at the next moment that will pop up on the screen. So this drama has been able to sort of like give me mixed emotions. I'm happy 1 minute and in the next instant I'm sad. I'm wondering what on earth is going on. I have to say that the producers of this drama really dug into the heart of the drama in order to pull out from our souls laughter, even as we are crying and even as we are shedding tears. They try as much as possible to pull out giggles from the inner corners of our hearts, and this is something that I definitely live for. Episode 5 starts off with Gangtae taking Moyoung to a motel for her to stay for the night, and this scene was so funny. It was so hilarious. I was literally laughing and I almost fell on the floor. And what struck me in that scene was how that even the receptionist had a very, very funny look on his face, which matched the exact look that I had on my face when I watched that scene. And it also introduced us the sort of character that Moyoung is, and it was really nice to see a female character in such an inappropriate mode taking the lead in such kind of scene. So instead of having the awkward female, we now had the awkward male, and it was really interesting and nice to see. At this point, Moyoung is being as straightforward as ever, and I hate to say this, but I would. She's a badass babe. I like how she's very expressive about what she wants and how you know she needs Gangtae and she wants Gangtae, and how she's very expressive about her feelings. And you know, it's quite interesting because her expressiveness is sort of like a trait that I'm currently working on, learning how to express exactly how I feel in moments. And there were times where I did get irritated by her behavior, her clinginess to Gangtae, but then I thought that if she was portrayed as perfect, then it wouldn't contribute to her development or her character development in the story, and it just wouldn't fit into the story that the writers were trying to portray through their craft. So I do really appreciate the fact that the writers are able to show us this side of Moyoung that is not perfect. So I really do recognize that, and I do appreciate the work that they did to put this work of art together. One striking scene that exposes Moyoung's softness is when Gangtae takes Moyoung back to his house, and then he lifts her arm and places it to her cheek, which was very, very, very emotional. At that moment, we could see her vulnerability, and you know, she was trying as much as possible not to come off as warm, as he explained, saying that that was the message she was actually trying to portray in her book Zombie Kid. But her response to him was that of, no, that's not what she meant. She meant something totally different. And it just shows how vulnerable Moyoung is when it comes to Gangtae. And even in the scene in episode 6 where she drops his shirt on the floor and she's stomping on it and she's like, he's crazy, she's so mad and she's so angry, we see that there was a sudden switch in her response. Immediately she remembers the scene where he's placing her hand on her cheek and she becomes calm again. And it takes us back to what she said earlier when the series started, about him being her safety pin, her landing mark, and he being the one that would curb her excesses. So it was quite interesting to see that these things all link together, like every single part of the story links together to produce the desired effects that the writers want us to have. And it tells you that despite her desire to resist his advances or his softness towards her, she has a soft spot for him, and it was very, very interesting to see. So moving on to the side characters, so we see Jury, who is a nurse at OK Psychiatric Hospital, and like I said before in the previous episode where I talked about how this series is sort of going to expose Jury's bad behavior, and we begin to see Juri for who she truly is. We could see her obsession and her greed and her need to want to get close to Gangtae, because every single thing that she has done, as much as she is a good friend to Gangtae, she has done it for herself. So her inspiring or motivating or telling Gangtae to move back to Soo-hyun City was for her benefit. Her telling Gangtae to take the house upstairs was for her benefit. So it's she herself who seems to portray herself as perfect is also on the obsession train alongside Moon-young. So both of them are two obsessed people running after the guy. But of course, we're always going to root for the main actress, Moon-young, because yes, we love her. So I find Juri's behavior quite hypocritical when she approaches Moon-young at Gangtae's house, because she tells her that she's obsessed and she's crazy, she's a bitch, and Moon-young fires back at her like, no, you are the one who is obsessed and you're the one that is greedy. And I was very pleased to see Moon-young call out on her bullshit, like, oh my girl, you cannot just talk to me like that. And I was, however, disappointed to see Juri's mom advise her daughter to chase him to the ends of the earth. Like, what kind of mom gives that kind of advice, huh? How can you tell your daughter to chase a guy that is not interested in her to the ends of the earth? Like, she should literally focus on other things right now, because yes, it's beginning to turn into a compulsive obsession over somebody that doesn't want you. Like, girl, get a life. If your guy doesn't want you, how difficult it is to leave him the hell alone, you know? And there was a loophole which I saw, especially in the part where Gangtae walks towards the cursed castle. Now, so he actually was in the hospital, and from the hospital we suddenly see him in the cursed castle. Like, and Moon-young, when she takes Gangtae to the cursed castle, she drives. So how is it that he quickly arrived at the cursed castle? Are they trying to tell us that he lives closer to the cursed castle or what? So that was sort of like a loophole that I discovered. So let me know what you think in the comment section if you observed that loophole. And then I had some questions in my head, like, how did he get there, you know, because Moon-young drove there, and there seemed to be like some sort of disconnect between the scene from the hospital to the cursed castle. Now, episode 5 ended up with them revealing to us that Gangtae actually knew that Moon-young was his love interest from when they were kids, and which was quite interesting to see. Like, Moon-young has always known since the first time that he was the one, but he actually pretended like as if he didn't know. And I was thinking to myself, Gangtae, so you've been pretending to us all along. Gangtae, never knew you were like this. So, well, that makes him such an imperfect person as well. Classic Gangtae, pretending to be something, pretending to be hiding, you know, in the shadows. So episode 6 started off with a roller coaster of emotions. I honestly had to say that my emotions were flying all around the place. We see Gangtae get upset with Gangtae for not yielding to his instruction for him to leave Moon-young's house, even though Gangtae had already signed a contract with Moon-young to live in the house and also illustrate for her. And at that moment, the sudden rage that he felt and the way he burst out in anger. Unfortunately for Gangtae reacts like violently, and they get into an intense fight. And can I just say that Kim So-hyun's anger rage is so fearful. I was so sad. I was so scared. Emotions were rising. I was literally shaking, because I think that's what makes him such an amazing actor. His ability to transition from this calm person to this calm person that we all love to this ferocious person. I mean, in The Moon Embracing the Sun, I saw him get angry, I saw him cry, and I believed it. So I've talked about the connection between the brothers and how that it is so astronomical. I should stop watching TikTok. So the connection between the brothers is so astronomical that this seemingly perfect person, this person that seems perfect in our eyes, also has like a moment of weakness. There was a point in his life where he almost let his brother die. Like, literally, he almost let his brother die. So he's not this perfect person that Moon-young sees him to be, or Juri sees him to be. He does have some flaws, and he did make some mistakes, and he does get tempted sometimes. So it was really, really like interesting to see this side of who Gangtae is in the story. So emotions were just flying all over the place, like I said. And can I just say for a moment, that as loving as the relationship between Gangtae and Sangtae is, there seems to be some level of toxicity to the relationship. The relationship is kind of toxic. So because there was a statement that Gangtae made where he said that he's done being someone needed by others. And I really did feel his pain, because all his life he's grown to be that supporting person towards his brother, and usually people like that, they want to be supported as well. They want people to take care of them as well, and he lacked that as a kid. And I was happy to see that later on that he changed his mind after being spoken to by Juri's mom. He changed his mind, and then he packs his bags and he arrives at the Curse Castle. And you know, the tension that we were all feeling in our hearts and how sad we were about the fight between the two brothers, everything just died down. And it was so interesting to see Moon-young's response to him, making reference to the allegory of him being her safety pin and him arriving at that same moment. The directing of this movie is so well done. Like, I was just smiling, like grinning all the way. The questions that I did have in this episode was, is Moon-young's father the serial killer? Because her allegory to Bluebird is quite distinct. I also felt like Moon-young's father is pretending to be ill in order not to be charged with murder. Okay, this is a theory, okay? I feel like Moon-young's father is pretending to be mentally unstable, or he is mentally unstable. It could be two things. I feel like he's pretending to be mentally unstable so he can get away for the murder of her mother, or he's actually mentally unstable and mistakenly killed the mother, or something like that. What do you think? I mean, what theories are coming into your mind concerning Moon-young's father? Because I feel like he's not all innocent as he is being portrayed to be, you know, in terms of Moon-young's life, because he did have a role to play in the way she turned out. So let's definitely see how the story goes. So put down your thoughts in the comment section and let me know what you think about it. On a final note, I'll just talk about the tension, the suspense, and the tears that, you know, Moon-young felt at the end of the episode. My heart, it really spoke out to me. My God, I was pulled in. I was in tears. Like, I could really feel the fear. Like, at that moment I felt the fear. You know, imagine having to wake up every day and you have this hovering shadow over your head all the day of your life, but you still have to express it through art. You still have to work. And you know, the ending scene where they bonded together, it was so emotional for me. It was a lot of emotions packed into one. Like, I was really, this episode really spoke to me. My God, I was pulled in, and I could really understand that the things that, you know, they were going through. I could really understand the things that we're going through in the story. To digress a little bit, another thing I found interesting in this K-drama is how that this time we have a female character who is actually well-to-do. Like I said, I'm digressing, but we have a female character who is actually well-to-do more than the male counterparts. So usually we always have the poor girl who finally meets the rich guy or the chaebol or the CEO of a very big company and he falls in love with her. But the reverse is the case. Now we have like a not too wealthy guy but with a girl who is well-to-do. And I love that they, you know, remove the aspect of their, you know, financial status, and they're focusing on the mental challenges that they're facing as people. And it's really quite interesting to see in a K-drama. Another thing I also loved were the epilogues. The epilogues at the end of episode 5. It has such a depth. It adds such a depth and meaningful piece to the story. It's so beautiful. It draws you further into the story. It takes you into the story, and even the cinematography. I'm not sure I'll stop talking about it because it's so good. It's so very well done. And yeah. So anyway, that's all for today's episode of Rated Rachel. Thank you to all my new subscribers for joining me. Thank you to all my old subscribers for supporting me. And I do hope you like this video for the algorithm's sake, so that YouTube can recommend my videos for other people to watch. Don't forget to subscribe, share this video to someone who you think might like it, and I will see you in the next episode of Rated Rachel. Bye.